That was really good. We'll be doing the entire episode in opera.
I am nothing if not full of air. That's the minimum thing that I'm known for.
As being full of air or
My
operatic?
wind.
Your wind. Great wind.
For my legendary wind.
Great wind.
Powerful wind.
Powerful
like
wind.
like the mighty oak, but for lungs.
Is this mighty oak full of wind?
No, I said but for lungs, like it was a metaphor. All right. Do the thing, because you have to. You always do it.
Hey, listeners. Hey. Welcome.
Hi. What's up? Oh, we didn't see you there.
Ooh. Welcome to Rebootleggers, a comedy podcast where we come with reboots for shows. I'm your host.
Funny ideas.
I'm your host, Scott Owen, joined by...
And I'm Frank Serra. Hey.
Frank Serra, my co-host.
I'm Frank Serra, and this is Scott Owen, who's with me.
Mm-hmm. We're each other's co-hosts.
Mm-hmm.
And
co-guests.
Co-guests, yeah. I'm guest. You're having me on as a guest, and I'm having you.
We ask each other, and then we answer each other.
That's correct. So, Frank, you've got a new project you've been working on. Do you want to do a little... you want to give us a taste? You want to give us some information about this new project?
Yeah, it's really exciting, and obviously I'll be contracting out your help because that was part of our pinky swear when we started this, was that we were going to be a team.
Binding.
So our latest series, CPR for Vampire Diaries, never really came to fruition. Did not get picked up, but it did get us noticed, and so this time is a little bit different. We've been hired by NBC to revive one of their currently running shows, Grimm. I don't know if you've heard of Grimm.
I've heard of it.
With two M's, like the brothers Grimm.
Yeah. I've not watched any of it, but I've heard of it. It seems to be kind of popular.
Yeah. Well, it was popular, but they need our help, Scott.
Okay.
So, Grimm is according to Wikipedia, it is an occult detective police procedural drama. Now, that's a lot of fancy words. That just means they kill monsters.
Oh, okay. So, it's like supernatural?
Yes, except they stay in the same town. They're in Portland, of course, right?
Oh, Portland. Keep it weird.
So, it stars Nicholas Burkhart, who is a descendant. Not yet. He might show up.
Okay.
So it stars a man named Nicholas Burkhart, who finds out that he is a Grimm with two M's.
Now, Nicholas Burkhart is the character?
Is the character.
Okay.
His name is Nicholas.
Nicky Burke.
So in the mythos of the show, the brothers Grimm, the two that wrote the fairy tales,
the OG,
the OGs, they were not people making up stories. They were recording facts about real monsters for the history books.
Were they
brothers?
Hid
them as stories.
Were they really brothers?
They really were brothers.
Okay.
But they were also, their last name was Grimm, but they were Grimms, still with two M's. When you are a Grimm, it means that you have the power to see monsters, because in this world, all monsters just look like people unless you have the power to see them.
Oh, okay, so they look like people. I was going to ask if they were invisible.
Yeah, all the monsters look like people, but if you're a Grimm, you can pierce the veil and see their true form. All monsters can choose to transform into their true form whenever they want to,
revealing themselves to the regular people.
To the general, yeah, usually only when they are about to kill or strike in some manner.
Okay. Kill or strike.
So,
now, why don't they just kill or strike as human?
Well, because when they're hiding as humans, they're not able to do the monster stuff.
They also have human limitations.
So, yes, when they're pretending to be a human, they are just a human.
So it's not just like a glamour. They have actually taken the form of a human.
Yeah, and it's completely unexplained, and every monster, no matter what their true size is, can all just be a normal person.
This sure sounds wonderful. Why have we been asked to save it?
So we've been called in because they've just been bogged down recently.
Okay.
You know, they're just stuck in a rut. They've been doing the same old thing. You know, a monster comes into the town of Portland. Nicholas kills it, and then it's like next week's just the same thing. It's like, why do they keep coming to Portland?
Why do they? That's a good question. Okay.
Here.
Go on.
There's an answer, actually.
Oh.
So being a Grimm is a family line. It means you're a descendant of one of the brothers Grimm themselves. So there's just not very many of them. And since Grimms are the only thing that can kill the monsters, it gets weirdly kind of counterintuitive. Where like, so Grimms are the only thing that present a danger to the monsters, but because there's so little of them, monsters form very large groups and they try to kill Grimms so that they can be safe forever.
Now tell me this: why are there so few Grimms? Are Grimms just unattractive, unable to find those with which to procreate?
Well, not all descendants become Grimms.
Oh,
it awakens in you.
It's like a mutant thing.
Yeah, a descendant only becomes a Grimm. You're not born one. You have to become one.
But only descendants can become one.
But only descendants can become one, and like
you got to have those Grimm midichlorians.
For Nicholas Burkhart, his mother was a Grimm, and then like she died, and then when she died, like being a Grimm like traveled down to him in the descendants.
I got you.
Because there's just not very many, and so a lot of the show for like the whole first 2 seasons, it revolved around like. So Nick is a Portland City police officer.
Oh,
that's kind of
he's got jurisdiction in 2 ways.
Well, no, it's kind of the opposite, right? So he is a Portland City police officer, but his job as a Grimm is to kill monsters.
But those monsters are Portland City citizens.
The monsters have social security numbers and cars and bank accounts.
Those monsters have gone to great lengths to assimilate.
Yeah, they just behave like people.
They are contributing members of society.
Yeah, so he's a cop that has to kill and then hide it. And it's like for the first 2 seasons, they like play this game, and then they just decide like it's just not worth it. And like around season 3, like
Murder Town,
everybody just is like knows now. He tells his cop partner, he tells his boss, and like all of these people that are humans like find out that monsters are real, and like he stops having to like pretend, and like now the police force is like
Grimm force.
Oh, monsters are real. Okay.
Well, that's fun because that's nice. It takes away that extra drama of secrets. So, all right. So, Frank, let's roll this bad boy over and check for signs of life. Tell me what I like. What I like about it from what you've told me, I like. The supernatural aspect, and because like with Vampire Diaries, monsters are hot monsters.
Oh, so toasty, and they have toasty human forms.
Toasty forms.
Even the slime beasts.
Even the slime beasts are toasty humans. Whew. Okay, so that's pretty good. I like that they just stick to one town.
Good set reuse.
I like the police force aspect of it. That's fun.
Because sometimes, there's monsters that don't want to kill you, right? And so they find monsters that are like, oh wait, whoa, all I want to do is pay taxes and be cool.
Right.
Like I'll tell you who did it though. It was my brother. He's the one that wants to murder people.
Right. And so where this show is really sounds like it's really, what's blocking the airways here is the tired monster week format. All right. Well, let's begin chest compressions, and let's get out the hacksaw and really start plugging away and try to pump some ideas into this patient. Yep.
So let me set you up with the basic skeleton that we've got so
Hit me.
far.
Charge those paddles.
We have Portland police officer Nick Burkhart. He's a human, but he's a Grimm.
And he has no brother.
He's got the special eyes. He has no brother.
Okay.
but he's got the specialized. He's got the X-ray specs for monsters. Oh, I forgot to mention this show. So Brothers Grimm, it was a German book. They were Germans.
Yes.
So everything in the show, like, they don't ever say normal monster words. It's always German words.
So like,
we'll get there.
Okay.
But I've got a couple examples. Yeah. The other thing though is that they don't call them monsters. They call them Wesen.
Sorry, can you spell that out for me?
They call them, yeah. So it's German, and so it's the Latin letter W, E-S-E-N, but it's Wesen, which is German for creature.
Could you use it in a sentence, please?
Yeah. It turns out that guy was a Wesen.
Okay.
So they don't call them monsters. The monsters are Wesen.
Okay.
So then Nicholas Burkhart has a police partner named Hank. Hank is a human.
Henry.
Hank knows monsters are real, but he's just a person, and he can't even see the monsters until Nick tells him who the monster
How
is.
toasty is Henry?
Not super duper. He's like late 30s.
So he's
way out of the CW demographic.
He's the regular man that the audience can relate to.
Yeah, like if he points his gun at a person, he's still not 100% sure if they're the Wesen, and Nick has to tell him, no, that is the guy.
Yeah. Does he ever, just go off, start shooting everything, assuming it's a Wesen?
The episode that he found out monsters were real, he like lived his entire life in terror and was afraid of everybody. And then Nick was like, none of those people were Wesen. You were just freaking out over nothing. You got to get over this.
Interesting.
I had the special eyes, so I'll tell you. That's what he was like.
So Hank moves in with Nick?
No. We can do that, though.
Yeah, so here's what I'm thinking. So, the NBCW's milieu lately has been pretty heavy on the procedural cop dramas.
Yeah. It has.
What if we pivot? Let's pivot this. Hank moves in with old Nicky boy, and we go sitcom, family sitcom.
I can dig it.
Just two roommates living in Portland.
I'll up it for you. We might be able to transition into Three's Company because Nick's best friend Monroe is a Wesen.
Oh,
with Nick was not a Grimm for a very long time, and then when he becomes a Grimm, he's like, "Y'all's a monster," and he has to deal with it. But Monroe's his bro,
and he's a good Wesen.
Yeah, so he's a werewolf, but you're not allowed to say werewolf because everything's
what do they say instead of werewolf?
So he is a Blutbad.
A bloodbath?
A Blutbad, which is the German word for bloodbath.
Bath. He is a bloodbath. Now, I feel like that would be a more applicable term to La Vampire.
To Le Vampire, yes. The Vampire. There's not vampires in this show. They just decided, it's not, they're not doing it.
Oh, that's refreshing.
They skip it.
That's refreshing.
There is an equivalent, but they're not the same. There's things called hexen beasts, who are they're like witches and wizards. So they're not like strictly like they are Wesen, but they're not like monsters. Like they're people, but they like eat souls and stuff. And they're very politically powerful. Obviously, they're the presidents and the kings and queens of things.
Okay.
But so anyway, so Monroe is a Wesen, and he is a werewolf. He is a Blutbad. He desires of the flesh of eating, but he is a vegetarian.
Oh.
Yeah, he just eats. He doesn't
lettuce.
Do that. Yeah, and there's he can never let the beast out. He's got that Hulk thing kind of going on.
The quinoa. Now I assume he does let the beast out when it's so called for.
Oh, it happens. And much like the Hulk, he loses his rational mind when he does so. Because that's the problem, right? Is that he's so starved of his banal desires that when the beast is freed, it is in full control.
Banal is not the correct word there. Just gonna throw that out there.
So his other the other Blutbad that exists that he's not friends with, they consume of the flesh and they murder people and they eat the meat. And when they transform, they keep their minds because they have all the blood going on in them. But this is not.
Okay. So, I assume there's so far this show's a bit of a sausage party.
It is. Yeah. I can introduce... To these 3 boys, there are 3 women. I was going to time release it.
Okay.
But we can hit them real quick.
Well, so so it sounds like we've got a good rhythm going. Let's clear the airway here and really let's flesh out the situational comedy here, and we can add characters as we go. So Hank moves in with Nick because he's too uneasy to ever be on his own.
Mm-hmm. Very codependent.
Yeah.
Well, just dependent. His mind is shattered. Are we going that far?
No, I think he's just kind of a nervous boy.
Is this like spooning the mushroom chowder situation?
No, I think we just make him the nervous boy who's a little neurotic, a bit on the spectrum, as they say, which is unfortunate.
That's very hip.
It's unfortunately super hip these days, what with the misinterpretation of what all that means. But yeah, so maybe the 3 of them live together, or do you think what's his name, Bruno?
Monroe. So they can all live together, but Nick has not told Hank that there is a Vesson in their presence.
Hank still does not know.
Well, he does.
Well, so then because this isn't a reboot, this is a...
Yeah, this is a continuation.
So maybe Monroe doesn't live with them. Could he be their Kramer?
Oh, he busts in, yeah, and Nick always has... And Hank always has to hide now.
Yeah.
Because he's very frightened.
So, every time Monroe strolls in, hey, Monroe gives a comical little squeal and hides behind the couch.
And just like, whoop.
Yeah.
And then, like, every once in a while, like, they'll be like, is he gone yet? And then, like, the laughter plays.
Yeah.
And, like, Nick has to, like pass in like a water bottle like through the cabinet door.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here you go, bud.
Yeah, here you go, buddy. You gonna be okay?
Yeah, and the important part is that, much like Kramer, when Monroe shows up, he doesn't care who he's inconveniencing. So he needs to drop by to hang out and watch the game, and he'll just do it while Hank's hiding the whole time.
I dig it. So Nick is still a member of the police force.
Mm-hmm. And so is Hank.
Okay, and so we will have a lot of scenes at the station, but they only are dealing with, like, we never see them go out and do crime solvings.
Yeah, it's more about like inter-office relationships.
Yes, so there's a lot of now, is there a lady cop?
There's not, actually.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. And also, now might be a good time to point out, so the Portland City Chief of Police is a Vesson.
Ooh, he's working behind the scenes against the police?
No, he is a Hexen Beast who works for the police to help them.
Oh, so more good monsters than I expected.
And he sweeps investigations under the rug when Nick kills monsters.
Hexen
there's a lot of friendship.
Yeah, and this is ultimately a story about overcoming fear with friendship.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Okay, so Hank moves in with Nick.
Mm-hmm.
They go to work together. Nick can be frightened of his Hexen Beast employer, superior, and we'll have a storyline. We'll have an episode arc where, or maybe what does the Hexen Beast eat?
And they just eat people food. They perform rituals, and they can take souls if they want. Doesn't really happen a ton.
So make it a recurring thing, I think. Every time they got to go talk to the chief, they go into his office and he's doing something weird, and he's got to like quickly put it away.
Yeah, and Hank has like a really like
Hank's like always very close.
I'm talking like a Flavor Flav size, like large iron cross, maybe.
Or maybe Hank doesn't know that Chief is a.
He does though already.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah, everyone's told everyone's secret to everyone by this time.
Ooh, that makes it tricky. Okay.
Yeah, and now we need to have an event happen because so far in season 5, Hank is very cool with all these people. So there needs to be a triggering event. There needs to be something that happens that tips his mind to the side of panic.
Okay. What if we introduce a new character to be
Like a Poochie.
a Poochie?
Like a do you know, I don't know the German word, but so there's werewolves, but what if there was a dog were?
Where a dog became a human?
Where a dog is a dog all the time, but on the full moon he's a human.
Interesting. I was thinking more
when he's a human, he really wants like a burger and some fries.
I was thinking
and then the dog wakes up and he's wearing jeans.
He's like, what did I do last night?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God, no, it happened again.
Uh-huh. Or he's wearing like a Red Hot Chili Peppers t-shirt, but he's a dog now.
I was thinking more maybe like we've got a new girl moves to town and she's kind of our new audience perspective.
Okay.
And she knows none of this, and the rest of the cast has to comedically hide these things from her.
Oh, because everyone but her is in on the secret. Okay.
Maybe she's from maybe actually, or how about this? Okay, so we've got two ideas that I could take with this. Which do you think is more charged, as it were?
Someone earlier did mention a dog-were creature.
Someone did. I like doing that either way, but so.
Oh, the new chick that moves to town, her pet dog is a dog-were.
But she doesn't know.
No.
But here's what I'm thinking about this new girl, and this is not at all like the TV show New Girl. I cannot stress that enough. Either she knows nothing about this secret world of monsters and they have to hide everything from her because they don't want her freaking out, or she's from the upper tier like Grimm brass and she has showed up to do like a surprise audit
like
inspection of the operation,
just like a percentage count on how many monsters are dead, and she finds all these alive monsters.
Well, so they've got to constantly hide all the good, friendly, alive monsters from her, and shenanigans ensue.
I like it because we're getting into the Three's Company. Help me, please, Mister.
Yeah.
The guy. Don Knotts, please. What is his name?
His name's Don Knotts. Oh, Mr. I was like, his name's Don Knotts.
Mr. He comes in and he goes, what? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't want to go in there. He's gay.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
his name,
Mr. Furley.
Thank you. I honestly didn't know either. I didn't know either.
Okay. Because they get into a compromising situation, and then Mr. Furley just barges right in because he just does that, which is very rude. And
he's the landlord.
You're in a compromising position.
Oh gosh. Now,
yeah,
the real the way that show really works, right, is he is a gay man pretending to not be gay, the guy, or is he pretending to be gay?
Are you talking about Don Knotts or John Ritter?
John Ritter. He's pretending.
John Ritter pretended to be gay so that they would let them live together.
So that Don Knotts wouldn't care that he was living with two fine ladies.
Yeah.
Interesting time, the 70s, the 80s, and the 70s. Yeah. All right. So what's this girl's name? Mrs. Furley.
Okay, because she's like a inspector type.
She's like a landlord.
She's got
basically
the horn rim glasses. I like it.
Yeah, but she's also only like 32.
Mm-hmm. And here's one of the references, for the diehard fan. In Three's Company,
Bruce Willis is in there.
Mrs. Furley does find out that Jack Tripper isn't gay, and then says, "Don't worry, I won't tell.
I won't tell the
Furley."
Mister."
Yeah.
So
that's a nice little, because she finds the truth. Our Mrs. Furley.
Are we gonna have a Mr. Furley that she doesn't tell?
Oh, I feel like no. I feel like we're good.
She's got to be single, right?
Because this Mrs. Furley does want to find the truth out and then not hide it.
And she's got to be single because this is the NBCW.
This is the NBCW, and she will find very many attractive Vessin humans in the show.
And she can be like, I went on a date with this guy last night, and like he,
and then he like rounds the corner in the police station, and it's like, "Hi, nice to meet you." And then we go to like we go to Nicholas's point of view, and it's this like giant slavering spike beast.
Yeah, she's
And
like,
he's like,
"Oh, here he
"Sup?"
is." How? But now wait. So apparently she's
Hi,
a
Finn.
Grimm who can't see. She doesn't have the sight.
Oh, she's a Grimm. Oh,
well, she's from the top brass.
well,
I thought.
yeah. Well, there's not that many of them, so they hire people that aren't Grimms.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
I think we can do with that.
Interesting choice to hire someone who does not have the sight, and
Well,
I'm
she's
into it.
I see.
I don't
It's
mind.
kind of ruining our thing, though.
I don't mind.
So they just, when you said they hide the monsters from her, you were meaning that they literally remove their persons from her line of sight.
No.
Like they just tell them to run away.
I think it's more that like they just have to. Maybe they can
Go. She's coming.
Maybe she's like
Get around the corner.
Maybe when she's around them, they're just like compelled to transform, and they have to like comically hide their many
you just
legs.
hit a very important part of the series, by the way, kind of on your head, is that Grimms do have the power to force monsters to show their true form.
Okay, so she's a Grimm without the sight, but with the force power.
And she's just always using it, just all the time. It's
She's
always
just got
on,
an
like,
aura of change
of like
yourself,
forcing you to transform.
and so
it's played, even in the show, it's played as very invasive and like non-desirable.
yeah, she'll be like in the break room, and she'll be like, Nick, could you come in here, please? And he comes in, and she's like,
and she's like pushing it out.
but she's like, Nick, can you explain this Tupperware that has human brains in it, labeled,
like it won't
and it's labeled.
And every time she does the push, we do one of those effects that's become much more popular in like the recent kind of cinema, where the screen like vibrates, and there's like that really annoying high pitched sound in the background. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
One of those. And like the color palette kind of shifts and becomes like violent.
And Nick's just like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, Vessin eat brains, and this is labeled Jimmy. What's the deal there? And he's got to be like,
and I noticed Jimmy has caught out sick for the past week.
And he's gonna be like, oh no, the Jimmy's in Ferenz. He's those are brains for his science.
Yeah, what a klutz! He accidentally put the science brains in the food fridge. I'll fix it.
He accidentally brought his son's science fair project to work.
Well, that raises more questions. He's not very good at improv, not like us.
No, and that'll be kind of the joke, is that his explanations and dodges are very half-assed.
But she always believes them.
Yeah, she's always just like, suspiciously, she's like, she's
kind of the worst inspector ever.
She's like, okay, and then laugh track,
and we find out, she also works for the FBI because she's investigating them for all the murders that are unsolved.
Who? Boy.
And, oh, dude, I got it.
Hit me.
She starts dating Hank.
Well, yeah. Well, should she date Hank or a Vessin?
Well, she can see Vessin, so she starts dating Hank.
No, she can't see Vessin. She can only force them to turn.
We changed that. Well, I feel like she wouldn't get long into a date before she forced them to turn.
Well, that's the joke. Is the Vessin? She can't her ability is not 100% compelling, and it kind of just starts to change them, and it suddenly one of their arms is a long hairy leg, and they have to be like, ugh!
She looks and she goes into her purse to get something, and then the guy's ears turn to werewolf ears, Blutbad ears,
and suddenly he's wearing a big hat,
and then he shakes his head like woogada woogada woogada, and then his ears go back,
or she turns back and suddenly he's wearing a large hat.
Yes.
Yeah. Suddenly he's kneeling behind a couch so that she doesn't see that his lower half is turned into a horse.
I dropped my hat pin. Is a hat pin a thing?
No, maybe. I don't know. Could be. What did you pin in a hat?
It is a functional pin to hold the hat to the hair. It is a solely female item. So he doesn't have a hat pin.
Yarmulkes have those. Yarmulke.
Oh, he's a Jewish vampire.
Interesting.
Werewolf. No vampires.
No vampires. Blutbad.
Blutbad.
How well do the people in the show handle the German pronunciations?
Flawlessly across the board. Yeah.
Do they suddenly like jump into a German accent for those words?
No, surprisingly, they do the American.
Okay. All right. So we really, a lot of laugh tracking.
Oh, tons of it. And since Mrs. Furley, Ms. Furley is dating Hank, she's just busting it all the time.
And Frank, I see a GIF here that you've sent me of a lady turning into a furry. Is this from the show?
That is the you'll notice that there is some it's mostly just a face transformation.
But she's still got mostly human face as well.
And it's still mostly, that's how monsters work.
And her hair turns into the Antonio Banderas haircut.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So Blutbats do not actually look that cool.
They're mostly human. They just have fur and teeth and claws.
I'm not gonna lie, that's a little disappointing, and I think that could be, one of the things choking this show. And I say we go full on awesome transformations with it here on out.
I can do that. Yeah, just full body clothes shredding.
I want to see underworld style lichens for the Blutbats. Now this one is that hair? Oh gosh.
That is a bad wig, yes, on the character.
And she does turn into a
and
zombie.
That is a hexened beast.
Oh. Now
they
why
look like zombies.
Why she looks like the zombie? Why is she so angry?
Mm-hmm. They're very angry people, except for the police captain.
Mm.
So there's a pretty strong
and I see she is wearing a cloak.
It is a cloak, yeah.
Does the police captain wear a cloak?
He does not.
Is he now? I think maybe he does.
Now he does, yes.
He is unable to not wear a cloak and cannot explain why.
Yeah, he actually, when he goes to take it off, it's not that he physically can't remove the cloak from his flesh, but it's that whenever he goes to take it off, like something happens, like he all of a sudden like thinks of something or like notices something on the dresser and like he keeps forgetting to.
And we'll do situations where, actually, here's what I think would be funny about him, is he is just barely hiding it, and Miss Furley only barely notices. She only ever looks at him like, it never gets more than like just a little bit of suspicion, where he'll say something, and she'll like look at him like, what? And then he'll like hastily correct himself, and the joke is he's barely hiding it, but somehow like getting away with it.
He's fine with it.
Yeah.
And like there's very, very many police officers in the Portland Police Department.
Uh-huh.
And 90% of them don't know that monsters are real.
Now tell me,
because they're not on the monster shift.
How much of a good day, like a fun, wonderful day, is Halloween for these Vessin?
Oh, it's very good. They all walk around fully transformed for fun.
For fun.
It's a day.
It is a day. Okay. I'm into it. I think once we go sitcom, the episodes kind of write themselves.
Yeah, it's pretty
I think that's a fresh new take on it. What do we need any other heat? I mean, I feel like this episode might end up being kind of short, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, we've been pulling long boys recently.
Yeah, long boys.
Are we going to introduce any new kinds of monsters?
Ooh, do we have a Rumpelstiltskin?
We do not.
Okay, that's a Grimm thing.
So we could do one of those.
Hansel and Gretel?
Yeah, I think they were probably Grimm's too.
What if we should do an episode where it turns out Nick has a long-lost brother, Grimm.
A brother Grimm. Oh my gosh, dude.
Yes.
Yes, and his name is Ron.
Ron Grimm.
His name is Ron Pelstiltskin.
Ron Hellstiltskin. Yeah.
I mean, I thought mine was good, but okay.
No, I just said the same thing you did.
No, Ron Pelstiltskin.
Oh, Pelstiltskin. I thought you said Hellstiltskin.
No, we gotta hit that.
No, I agree with you on that one. And he's a Vessin and a Grimm?
Oh, the duality of man argument. Yes.
Can Vessen see other Vessen?
Not officially covered, but they can like feel it out.
They can like see each other's Vessen parts some kind of way. It's kind of like
it's more like a
gaydar.
It's more like how exactly. It's more like feeling you're not like you know when a room is empty or not empty kind of thing.
Do they like wink at each other very big?
Very often, yes. Or they'll give each other a thumbs up behind humans' backs.
They touch their noses.
Mm-hmm. Pull the ear.
Mm-hmm. They do the old baseball signals.
Yeah, they slap the elbow.
They slap butts. A lot of butt pats between Vessens.
Less in public, but yeah.
No, just as a vet, whenever a Vessen walks past another Vessen, they just give him a nice,
a little lift.
A good, the old good game butt pat, good hustle.
Yeah, good job hiding from the humans.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, Coach. Okay. So we got a Rumpelstiltskin Vessen Grimm. How about
And he just comes to town. Hey, his brother's in town. He wants to visit.
He knocks on the door and Nick's like, "Hey, can I help you?" He's like, "Hey, Nick, I'm your brother."
He sees. Well, what kind of monster is he? What kind of Vessen is he?
Well,
let me pull up Google Translate.
Rumpelstiltskin's what, like a little elf man, little fairy boy?
Yeah, well, I gotta pull up the old Google Translate real quick. Because this has to be authentic.
Rumpelstiltskin.
So translate. There we go.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Choose. Well, that's his name, but that's not his personage.
Maybe it's both.
So he's a Oh, that's not right.
A Stiltkin.
So he's a He could be a Zvergman. Huh?
What does that mean?
Zvergman? It means dwarf man.
I like it. He's a dwarf man. He's very short.
Yeah, he's very short. He's very stout. He has a beard.
Uh-huh.
Alternatively, he could be a Godle Benderman.
Godly Benderman.
Godle Benderman, which means gold-loving man.
No, I like dwarf man. Stout
dwarf man, Zvergman.
Yeah, I want to go that way.
I do like the Zv.
A Svegin? Is that his name?
A Zvergman.
Svegman?
Zvergman.
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 I'm saying what you're saying. It's Zvergman.
Zvergman.
Zverganan.
I typed it wrong in Skype.
Yeah, that says Zvergan.
Don't read what I sent you.
Zvergan.
Zvergman.
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 Alright, it's fine. It's fine for now.
So we could have Zvergman, yes. Nikolaj. We could have.
He comes to town. He looks up his brother.
Mm-hmm.
All he has is like a faded photograph of their childhood home in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
And he says, Nicholas answers the door, and he says, "You're my brother." And then Nicholas says, "You're a monster."
You son of a bitch.
But he misunderstands, right? So Zvergman, when Nick says you're a monster, he goes, "Oh no, he hates me," and he runs away.
Mm-hmm.
But Nick meant, like, "You're a monster, my brother," and I love that. Mm-hmm. But he didn't get to finish his sentence.
Yes. Because
he, like, coughed.
That. But I love that. So we have, Zvegman thinks he's hated by his brother.
Mm-hmm. And they do that sitcom plot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then they're just, and then I think they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he helps, he doesn't work for the police. He needs to get a job, though.
Yes.
So he becomes
an Uber driver.
Dog walker.
A food delivery boy.
No. I have a thing. Please play with me. He becomes
a dog walker.
He becomes a dog walker and is hired every morning to walk the dog ware owned by Mrs. Furley.
Herr Furley.
Ms. Furley. Actually, we said Ms., didn't we?
Fraulein Furley.
Yeah, we don't have... I guess we do have to. It's Grimm. Okay. So the dog ware gets walked every morning
That
by
dog where,
Zwergman.
though? Okay.
The manhund.
The what? Manhund?
The manhund, which means man dog.
Manhund.
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 Okay, that's as good as all the characters besides the one who speaks German will pronounce it anyway.
Manhund. Manhunden. I'm into it. So, his name is, remind me again, Ron Pelstinskin?
Ron Pelstinskin.
And he...
I just realized that we said that his Vesson type is Zwergman, but I've been calling him Zwergman like that's his name.
Yeah, no.
For like the past 10 minutes.
He's
so I think his name is probably just Zwergman now.
No, I think... Okay. No. He's gotta be Ron Pelstinskin.
Well, he's Ron Zwergman.
Stiltskin. Ron Zwergman Stiltskin.
Yeah, that works.
And things... he's constantly weaving golden things.
Yeah.
Turning straw to
expand?
Gold. Well, that's what Rumpelstiltskin does, right? He turns.
Well, oh no, I meant like
gold?
in the show. Like, does he just like every time he touches a thing, like there's a 1% chance it turns to gold?
Everyone's kind of just like, yeah, and he's always just throwing it away.
Because it's worthless to him.
Yeah, and nobody realizes it.
Yeah, like just garbage cans full of like gold Snickers bars.
That could be an episode when they're down on money. They got to make rent.
Gold yogurt cup lid.
They got to make rent, and suddenly Nick is like, "Hey, what's with this trash can full of gold paper?"
And Ron is like, "Bro, do you actually want that?"
He's like, "What? That's just."
He's like, "Look, I have this yogurt cup lid. That's gold. Do you want this?"
Yeah. He thinks gold is just a color.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we might have a pulse here.
Yeah, I think this is a bold new direction.
Yeah, I think we could put away the forceps. Stop compressing the legs.
Spin down the bone saw.
Spin down that bone saw. I think we might have resuscitated this show.
I think we did it.
Do we have any last minute tweaks before we cut it?
Does the dog wear fall in love with anybody?
For sure. On his one night a month spree, can he speak as a human?
Yeah. Oh yeah. When he is a human on the once a month on the full moon, like he is a man with a mind and like a memory, but he only lives one day a month.
And he is played by none other than TV's John Hamm.
God, that's good. I like it.
And so, once a month we get John Hamm in an episode, and he's like,
and he
"Hello."
We do like a
But he's going on like a fast food bender every time.
Yeah, we do like a modified time traveler's wife, where like he has a girl that he goes out on a date with once a month, and they're like in love, but he can't like. It's like a Cinderella type thing too, where it's like, when can I see you again? And he's like, how about only the night of the 22nd and no other night? And then she's like, I guess.
I guess.
It's like, you're lucky I love you so much.
Yeah.
Why can't I ever visit you at work?
Right. That's good. That is good. All right. Well, let's cut it, print it, ship it.
Put it in a pizza pouch.
Put it in a pizza pouch.
Cut, print, ship, pizza pouch. Every episode, we question whether that's all 4 of them.
Well, you do.
Cut, print, ship, pizza pouch.
Well, you question.
Let's not fight in front of the listeners, okay?
In front of the children.
So we cut it, we print it, we shipped it, we put it in a pizza pouch for safekeeping.
We did that.
We got it.
Nailed it.
It's over.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. As always, please subscribe in iTunes if you're not already. Or just at the very least, go give us a rating. Positive ratings.
Get those stars.
Positive ratings is how we get
satisfaction.
Well, it's how we get satisfaction, and it's how people can find us. If we get more positive ratings, we start showing up in some lists and things.
We even like if you Google search our podcast name, it literally is not allowed to show up
until we get at least 1 7-star, 5-star.
Somebody reviewed.
We have to get at least 12 stars, I think.
Anybody has to ever have been even listened to this.
Yeah, so please, give us a rating. You can follow us on Twitter at Rebootleggers. Send us a suggestion for something you'd like us to reboot. We'd love that.
We'll pretty much do anything you send to us.
Yeah. So, hey Ned, And
What's up, Ned?
until next time, I've been Scott Owen.
And I'm Frank Sarah.
Frank, what is our password this week?
Our password for this week, and you knew it was coming, is Zvergman.
I knew it was coming.
Based on prior experience, you might not be able to get in next week.
It'll be tough. So, everybody practice that, and we'll hopefully see you next week.